Legends live and ready, the Bitcoin predictions show. We got the Chris Viking in the building. How you doing, brother? Let's kick this off.
Doing fantastic, bro. Oh my gosh.
Lovely. Everything we said came true. We're going to go into it. Unfortunately, today, guys, Will isn't here. Will is actually busy. He's in a weird time zone at the moment. He's in Georgia, actually, which is a very strange one. I've been there as well. But, guys, we're going to do the Bitcoin prediction show. Like this video, do whatever you want to do. I'm just going to get straight into the charts like we do at the beginning of the video. So the first video, the first 10 minutes of the video, I'll do my analysis. Then we'll speak to Chris and look at his stuff. And we'll go through the charts. And, it's real. I'm going to make this really clear and simple, guys. Like, if you watch the last stream we did last week, everything literally played out perfectly as predicted, as they say. But it was the thesis and the, what we forecasted for the next week pretty much happened to a T. I haven't got like the videos to play back and stuff. I might do another video like that. But what we were saying, guys, is that this area down here, I think actually this was what was happening actually when we were doing our last video. I'll just do a recap, guys, go into my analysis and tell you what I think is going to happen next. We'll do the long-term, medium-term, short-term. You know how this shit goes, guys. And obviously Twitter. We'll talk about our lifetime coverage right now. We've actually got this incredible deal we're going on right now for MDX Algo, and the brand new Academy is live. Look at all these faces, legends. The brand new Academy is live on mdxalgo.com. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But so, guys, what happened is, we were talking quite rigorously actually down here. We were saying, look, this is probably not a good time to get into shorts at this lower end side of this pullback, or you could say correction, or even a crash. But I'd say it's a nice little correction here. It's been rallying extremely. We know it's been rallying for the best part of like 2 months now. Bitcoin up and up and up, up only. And it's long into all proven. Otherwise, we spoke about that a million times. And we were saying, look, it's not really a good time to get into shorts around here. What you're really looking to do is actually get into a short at the 618 or the 786 Fibonacci retracement. I'm just trying to find my fib tool. And what you can do, you can draw a fib from here to here, guys. And you can see pretty much, guys, to a T, like I said on stream, that if you're looking to get into shorts, guys, you're looking to get into a short at the 618 or the 786 golden pocket, the golden Fibonacci retracement. The 618 is the ultimate golden, but I also have the 786 as a more semi, not as highlighted, but it's still a golden retracement pocket for me for altcoins. And guys, we've got it exactly as predicted. We literally came back into it. This was where you get into your shorts. I actually got 2 shorts from this. And we were speaking about some prior price action. I'll quickly show you now, actually. I was saying on stream, I was like, look, there's a fractal from a while ago where I had some very successful shorts. It's actually just here. Let me get in there. And I was saying to you on the stream that, look, this is kind of what we're looking at on Bitcoin now. We have this expansion phase going up into it. We have a lower low created. So you have a lower low. You have a lower high and a lower low. That would have been the lower high here. And I had a very good short play where I said, look, it's going to rally back up. You're going to get a 786 retracement. This one here was the 786. Let me just quickly show you quickly here. And you go back down to there, you can see it actually tagged that 786 retracement pretty much, guys. If you go from the first wick, second wick, it's pretty much on the T, guys, of a 786. And what you can see, guys, is that it's just the same thing we just did on Bitcoin. We came into it back up to these retracement levels, a really fast short, which I caught that first short. And then it gave you another 2 or 3 opportunities to get into another short. So extremely generous, another short back down. And what we got, guys, from our prior video when we were speaking about this, and I've got a lot of people actually DMing me recently, being like, dude, like, wow, like that's a ridiculous piece of analysis there, because it was super clear. And I'm not going to say people should take what I say on board and do it, because I'm not a financial advisor. I need to breathe. Fuck it, no, I'm not a financial advisor, but there are I haven't streamed for a while, Chris. It's kind of puffing me out. And obviously last night I was up till 6 a.m. With a few traders finishing off the Academy section. So I literally got about 4 hours sleep last night. I'm still here. It is the bull market. Well, getting there. We were finishing off the Academy section, guys, where you can apply for the one-on-one mentors. You have Chris in here, Kieran. I'm not going to go into this now. I'm just going to show you, you can do all the questionnaires, and you can basically do this without going through a phone call. You can apply for one-on-one mentoring within mdxalgo.com. Anyway, I will tell you about what I'm excited about in a minute, guys, but let me continue my analysis. So I'm breathing. That was the last thing I remember I was talking about, breathing. Yeah, so it's a very, very similar to that prior fractal, guys, as in it came back up to that 618 retracement, and it's actually given us multiple times to get into short positions here. You have this nice trend line formed. Now we have multiple touches on this trend line. And look, it's perfect. It came back. We went to the 786 retracement or the 618 between the two. You had one very fast short, and then you had another opportunity to get into another short and continue this going down. And this is, one of my bread and butter trades. I had a $300,000 long $300,000 short on the prior fractal. I didn't have a 300K short this time around. I had a 300K short the last time. You guys saw that all live on stream, and this was a extremely good move. You know, it's one of those ones where you're like, you know, I said it on the prior stream. It's a trade that I take with my eyes closed. It's a lower low, and then you're likely to get that lower high because of that systemic break of the parabola. The parabola is broken now. We're going sideways. We're kind of consolidating sideways. And now what we have to speak about is what happens next. And, you know, like I said before, 60%, I think it's a 60% chance that the top here is in. And then if it is the top is in now, then the medium term prediction I have is that we're going to go to around $30,000. I actually just want to quickly mention something on one of my tweets, because obviously, guys, you follow me on Twitter, but this is one of the prediction videos, which you can see here. You can actually watch this video, me predicting that. And I actually wrote in my VIP group, you know, if you miss the trades in real time, fine. But in my VIP group, I actually do write all of my trades out, my thesis, what I think, all that kind of stuff. So if you do want to get my like daily trades, which I put into this group, you have to go on mdxalgo.com to get that. I'm not giving away that information for free, legends. Otherwise, the whole market would front run my trades and I would make no money. It's a paid group. You have to be in there to get the analysis, and everything else we offer now within MDX Algo it costs about $20K a month to run it. So if you're getting it for $69 a month, you can do the maths there in terms of the value you're going to accrue from that. So that's enough shilling. I'm just excited, guys, about MDX Algo right now. I'm really excited about the Academy, our new product we just launched. So back to this. So yeah, you know, it's multiple times, guys. I put all my trades in the VIP group, so you guys already understand that. You've seen the positions open. And, you know, what happens is next for me in my camp with this is you do have an ascending formation. You know, this is lower highs now coming into it. It doesn't mean you can't have a bearish cyclical move and then continue up higher. That's still on the cards here. I think it's a little bit less likely actually looking at this price action, just because we have a flat bottom here of support. And you can see that the price action is continuously coming into this zone. And we all know, guys, you know, if it was an ascending formation, you know, when it's upside, if you keep battering into that higher side resistance, it's very likely it's going to break, because if you slam a fucking wall with a hammer, if you slam it for long enough, it will break eventually, and you get into the apex zone. And I do think we're coming to an apex now on this. I think the probability is we're going to break down. There's a lot of people on, you know, crypto Twitter, or what do you want to call it now, X Twitter. What do we call it anymore, Elon? You fucked
Twitter.
It up with all your
fucking Twitter.
Yeah, but like crypto Twitter. Like, what? It's not crypto Twitter. It's X now. It's called X. So it's crypto X. You know what I'm trying to say here? You get what I'm saying? So
yeah, I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, he's tried to name, you know, Twitter like his children and confuse the whole fucking planet. Even though, he's trying to confuse the planet because he's got his eyes on a different planet. He's looking at fucking Mars. Anyway. So a lot of people are doing this. They're saying, oh, but there's a trend line coming up. So it's, you know, a sideways pennant, and it's a sideways formation, or it's a kind of a pincering.
If you take the measured move from the two triangles, and then you take the calculated measured move, no, that's not how that works.
It's not how that works. You said it very well, my friend. It's not how it works. And like, okay, you could draw something like this and say it's a sideways formation, but if it is like this, right, which I actually disagree with, because I do think this area of support is flat, then it would, in my book, it would be more than they all say it's 50-50, but actually it wouldn't be 50-50, because if you come into a sideways consolidation coming into it bullish, it's more likely generally that you come out of it bullish, just because you're potentially continuing the trend in a sideways motion. And we see that multiple times in this last rally. You actually see Bitcoin beginning to move. It consolidates sideways or down, actually. So you can see here, a good example would be here, sideways, down, up. This is kind of down, up. That's sideways. So you can see these are consolidating down or sideways, then continuing higher. So if you come into this like that, I think the probability is you continue out of it. But I would say that looking at this break here with this big sell-off, the volume came in here. We can see, you know, the sellers really took control from this. And this, I would state, is around 60% of a chance to be. So I say the probability is at it 60% chance to be the top. And what we're really waiting for both sides of the argument, like I said, I disagree it's this. I think it's more likely going to continue down, and it's actually a flat bottom, and we continue a descending triangle. Doesn't mean we can't come back down quite quickly, exactly like this, wick through it, and then we're coming back up. That actually is a pretty decent scenario in my book, and my next level to buy on the downside would be the top side of this ascending triangle. Everyone was calling for this to be all this bullshit. Like, I think one of the guys said it's like I think someone literally drew this on it. I saw it, and he was like, yes, guys, it's a slanted diamond formation. I was like literally thinking in my head, like the amount of people who are going to look at that and like
It's the
start
butt
thinking
plug, sir. It's the butt plug.
Yeah, it's
butt
not
plug
a butt
advancement
plug formation. There's no butt plug formation on this.
Somebody
It's
who leads
ridiculous.
into a technical analysis and says, "Oh, but the pattern is Batman or Adam and Eve." I'm like, bro, like that's not
Yes.
technical analysis. That's guesstimation with some goddamn zoology or some shit in there.
I can't.
What's it
Literally,
called?
it's actually like
horoscopes.
Mate, I'm so tired right now that it's actually like angering me to even hear those words. Like, let's just not even go there. Let's just carry on. Live our dream.
The moon cycle. What's the moon cycle currently? Are we in Mercury retrograde right now?
Yeah, you're doing it. You're doing it to me. So yeah, it's this. I was just thinking in my head, it's not a diamond reversal formation. It is an ascending triangle. And at this point, it was an ascending triangle. It was a very, very clear ascending triangle. It turned into an ascending parabola. But anyway, my fact is like this. If I can speak. Sorry, I'm uber tired right now. It's been a long day, a long night. God. The academy's done though, so we're all there. And anyone in the VIP group will know that we've been working on that for a long time. So yeah, so I do think that this will be the next area I'm looking to buy. So it'll be coming in like this, a breakthrough. This would be a really nice area to buy. We've built up a lot of resistance along here. It's a key SI level. What I would anticipate is you're going to get a bounce off that and really nice stop loss trade here. Pretty good risk to reward because actually that could ultimately be the bottom for the medium term. I'm saying 30K is on what I think we're really going to get on this. But, that doesn't mean 30K has to happen. I might be wrong at my medium term prediction that 30K is played out again. And if I am wrong, fine. I want to cover myself because I know that I'm not, the Messiah with a crystal ball and I don't go on 100x leverage with no stop loss because I don't think I'm God. So I will actually buy this and I will have a stop loss and I will play that trade. And if that does turn out to be the bottom of this move, we do a medium term swing to 48, great. I'll have my positions and I'll catch that move. So being humble, I am humbling myself. I am saying that if 30K doesn't happen, I will counter that as with an educated trade, right? So 30K is where I think it's going to go, but I do think that around that $37,800 could be it. Not saying it is, but I think the probability of us getting this from breakdown is higher than breaking this high first. So just to say lower first. And then to go against myself and say, okay, look, let's just say that this is not the top. And 60% I think 60% chance is the top. But let's just say it's not. What are you looking for to identify to say clear invalidation? You need to have a clear invalidation. Essentially, what a stop loss is you saying that's my line in the sand. If I am wrong, like I'm wrong at spelling something or wrong at a maths equation or I'm wrong at the nuclear codes, you have a backup to then have someone else to say, look, this is my next step. This is my next plan, my process. Okay, so if I'm wrong, my 60% probability chance that this is the top. If I'm wrong, the clear invalidation of that, guys, is that we break trend, which is obviously this line here, and we come up, we find support on prior SR, which would be support and resistance, and then we break this level. This is really where I want to see get broken. Between here and here is actually, I would say, more of a gray zone because it could wick into this and then come back into it to catch some liquidity. Me and Chris are about to talk about the liquidation engine, and we're going to see a lot of pent up positions up here, like 100x, 50x, and 25x positions. So it wouldn't surprise me to see it actually happen, but a clear invalidation with me wouldn't be, coming up to it with a wick and breaking through it and then getting rejected. Okay, that wouldn't be it. It would be coming up to this probably a little bit slower, actually, breaking it quite decisively and holding above it and looking for that daily or that 4-hour close, depending on how aggressive you want to go on this. And I would say a daily is more, is more certain for me. And then obviously breaking this level and holding above it, it's very likely that this is going to be the continuation. And then my next levels to look for shorts is going to be 48K. And that would be 48K would actually be where I look for shorts, as well as taking a significant amount of my portfolio out in spot and holding that back, probably 1 or 2% actually, holding that back for a potential bigger side correction. And if I'm wrong again and we continue to keep going up and 48K gets broken, we go to 50, 60, 70, and this is it. We go into the new, this is the next bull market rally, then I'll only lose 2%. I'll have 2% in cash and I'll just miss that run. Okay, so that's cool. So those are the two real key. I think we spoke about this because we just did a live. Well, actually, Chris just did a live, and I was trying to speak, but Chris's speakers were not on. So
bulldozing your ass.
Yeah, man, I was literally I was in my own Discord server, like trying to put a word in, and you were just blasting through me. I was like, Chris, bro, you're like, just going into your analysis. Obviously, couldn't hear me. We do have some fun in that group. I can't lie. It's getting a lot bigger as well. A lot of
yeah, we're gonna start poker night too. We're doing digital.
Yeah,
poker
I'm so game.
like
we
crypto
did that in the
buy-ins.
last bull market. Yeah, we did that in the last bull market. It was mental. We had it was the Ethereum one as well. But anyway, we'll get into that. We had an Ethereum one. You stake Ethereum. I know it was EOS. You had to stake EOS tokens. Oh, bro, that was so fucking mental. Anyway, so yeah, that's my invalidation, guys. It's around here and here. So this is really the pocket that we want to get above. Really simple. You can actually see this blue area, which is showing you the liquidity, and here, and then we have this nice pocket down here. It's quite faint on your screen. I know what you're seeing, guys, but there is on my screen. You can see these blue levels, which are actually plotted on by the auto charting tools, the MDX auto charting tools indicator, which you just did an update to. So yeah, so really clear invalidation, guys, here to here. If we get above that on a sustained daily close, I would say that I'm wrong, and I do actually think it's going to be continuation back to long until proven otherwise. I would just say that the probability after this break and breaking the parabola are slightly more probability to move to the downside, considering that we have a flat bottom here, guys. In terms of formation recognition, this to me looks like it's probably going to keel over and come a little bit lower before we continue higher. And like I said, guys, that's my short-term analysis. Now, medium term, I've said it really clear in the last video, guys. I do think we're going to come back down to $30,000, which is around here. I think that on the medium term, guys, I'm just going to completely go from the beginning again. If I can get my words out, this is difficult. We're here. It's 4 hours sleep, but we're here. I'm going to survive, legends. And I'm going to talk to you about the academy in a second. But this level here, guys, very, very clear. This is probably one of the most crucial KSR levels on Bitcoin's price chart today. Okay. So this is a significantly important place. And we never really found support on it. We actually blasted through it and kind of had like an escalation move. You could say, I wouldn't call it an expansion, because an expansion for me needs to be an all-time high break. But I'd say it's like an escalated kind of rush FOMO move. And there's a lot of argument out there with the wave counting saying this could potentially be that fifth wave out, which is a very aggressive move usually in terms of the third and the fifth are usually the most crazy moves. So first, second, third, fifth, Elliott wave theory I'm talking about, guys. The third and the fifth are usually the most explosive. So what I'm saying is that it was never really definedly retested. And like I said in the prior video, like if you look at a lot of charts, that kind of pivot zone or that point where the most price action was traded, like the point of control in the middle, is usually very likely, actually, in a lot of cases, not just in Bitcoin, on all different charts, and even if you look on Bitcoin's price history, you usually do eventually get some sort of retest just to essentially test it, because no one knows right now. The market's pretty generous. It does actually give you a lot of opportunity. And this has happened very, very quickly. A lot of people have made a lot of money very quickly, especially bigger institutions now who are getting in. And it would not surprise me for some of those guys to start taking some profit. People who are on the sidelines are like, you know what, I'm going to stay away from this for a bit. So you have a synergy between I'm staying on the sidelines, I've made some cash, and then you come back down and then you hit an equilibrium. And the equilibrium is when the people who are on the sidelines are like, fuck it, I'm jumping in now. And the guys who were taking profit, they don't have any more profit because they let it come back. So there's nothing to take. I think that's really what we're going to see there, just going down a very philosophical way of thinking about buyers and sellers. Obviously, there are other actors in the market, like market movers and market makers and all this kind of stuff. But, on a higher time frame, well, that's a nice straight line. On a higher time frame, generally, the more traditional psychology of markets does play out more. So, yeah, medium term, guys, I'm waffling on, but medium term, I do think 30K is going to get tagged. I think that's the highest probability. Whether we go to 48 now and then back, I just do think at some point we'll get that. Historically, we've seen just before halving some volatility on Bitcoin as well. And the KSR level, the really key crucial level, is between about 30,000 and 32,000. I just think it's I just think that, like I said, my hunch is that we're going to retest it at some point. And whether it's now, in terms of this being the top or the next move, that remains to be seen. I would say the probability is that this could be it. If it's not, fine, we'll go another leg higher. And then 48K, I think we're getting very close to that being it. And then again, if it's not that, I'll just keep recycling, keep going with the trend on the pullbacks and buying in the relevant places and selling in the relevant places with no bias, no subjective bias, being objective and saying, look, these are my levels. These are where I'm invalidated. And just doing that constantly like we did before, guys. Like we were saying, get long on Bitcoin at 32K. It wasn't because I like Bitcoin. Obviously, I do like the fundamentals of it. But I was saying that because very clearly on the chart, it was stating that the buyers are in control. We've broken out a long-term systemic resistance. And now it's time to probably see a continuation. And to bet against that continuation would be stupid. Otherwise, you'd miss a 70% move to the upside, which many of these people on the internet you see, did honestly an unforgivable mistake in any fund position or any desk position. If you didn't allow yourself to just say, I'm wrong, and then catch the 70% move up, it's an unforgivable mistake and you would lose your job. So most people lost their fucking job on this last rally because they would rather be right than rich, like I said before. Anyway, we're almost there, Chris. few more things to mention. So I will quickly mention the Academy, guys. So if you're already a premium member Legends of MDX Algo, you already know about this, but you can actually come to the Academy section and you can now book one-on-one mentoring with our 12 coaches now within the portal without going through a phone call. So you can literally just book straight away, guys, apply for it, apply for your mentorship, and then the mentor will come to you and say whether he wants to take you on or not. We've probably done, I don't know, 80% of the maximum capacity. Obviously, these individuals can't, be everybody's mentor. Otherwise,
we're people, not bots yet. We haven't been replaced by the fucking AI. So
yeah. Well, this is the thing. I know. Well, it's a great thing you actually said that, because I had a conversation with Will the other day, and I was like, what we're trying to do is make it so we go the opposite direction of AI. Because I still believe that in trading and certain aspects of any industry which you want to become a master at and have a mentor, it's better to have a personal touch. And also, trading's lonely fucking enough already, let alone chatting to a fucking computer with your computer, and it's not a real human being. So we're trying to make it personal, guys. All these individuals will essentially hold your hand through the beginning stages or take you to the next level. Only mentioning this because it's been highly in demand. And we know that if you guys can book through the Academy, essentially, it means that it takes a lot of strain off other parts of the business. Because if we're taking phone calls for 100 people, now you guys can just go and apply, and then the mentor can choose if he wants you, in his own time. But yeah, really, really good, guys. A lot of these guys are already fully booked. So if they're fully booked, they're already taken. But there are a few of them opening up now. Dusty just had his places opened up. We have Will, Kieran, Trader Kieran's been in the community on 83 lessons already. So anyway, I'm waffling on about this, but really, really cool thing, guys. You can go to mdxalgo.com. We have our indicators. You guys already know the kind of product line we have anyway. And essentially what we're looking forward to do is build a full-blown trading education platform. So I'm waffling. I'm going to guarantee. The only reason I'm talking about it so much is because I am proud of it. I've been working on it for the last 10, 15 hours straight. I'm literally fucking knackered. And the next thing to do really is to open it up. And now it is open, guys. So mdxalgo.com, go check it out. Obviously, the trading and everything's all live as well. So go to Bingx and Bybit to get that. Now I'm going to allow Chrissy Boy, my guy in the building, who has got some very interesting charts to show. I want to see the liquidation engines. I want to see the new indicator, which you were showing earlier, Chrissy Boy, the trend collection. But take it away, brother. I need a rest. Take it away. Tell me what you think. And
take a breath. Take a drink.
Yeah,
take a breath. Take a drink, sir.
I want to put the aircon on as well. Give me a second. Take it away, brother.
Yeah. All right. So I think the first thing I kind of want to mention was that in the price action that we were at last Monday, we were down here. We were down at 40, just above 40K. We were actually doing the bounce at 40.5. And we all three of us said it's like, yeah, it looks like the local low. We've flushed out all the major long liquidity from the upside move, everything above 44K. It's all completely taken out here, especially the higher leverage stuff got flushed, got a nice bounce. And we discussed pretty heavily, the level that's untested. And we had a really untested level up here, and then the lows, of course, that are the first level to test. So really, we looked at it from like, that what's need to be tested, that's what could be tested, and any gain of that is continuation. So the idea is it played out exactly like a triangle. I'm going to bring up the triangle just because everyone's talking about triangle. But I think for invalidation, a downside, I think that the biggest issue we have right now is the fact that we're above 40K, and we're very far above 40K. If you look at any of the volume stuff on higher time frames, we are diverging, which means there's less interest to buy at above 40K in volume and spot than there is to say take perpetual positions and to take futures positions. The biggest issue right now is that why would you buy spot at 40K with the expectation that we will have a retracement? And that's been the driving force of this entire upside move. So the psychology aspect, which Max brought up, was we've been going up only for a long time. And there's people who've been wrong since, 32K and 30K and below that. And the problem is that they got duped by the market, which is very good at tricking people into thinking they're right and then proving them wrong. So 80% of the market essentially has to be wrong consistently, especially in these upside moves. And this parabolic move that eventually had a breakdown where we are now, what caused that entire thing was the fact that people started buying higher lows. People have been trying to short everything for weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months. Bear market mentality is like a mind virus. People get put in their corners of, well, I'm a bull, or all these damn bears. And, those are terms. I truly believe these are terms.
Tribal, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and these I truly and honestly believe that the term bullish and bearish are invented by institutions to trick retail into getting emotionally attached to positions on trading. Like, I don't give a shit if it goes up or down. Nobody
Do you want to know
should.
the Do you want to know the explanation for it that I know? You probably know this
Yeah,
as
go
well,
for it.
but the reason is that a bull attacks its enemy by going up with its head, and a bear attacks its enemy by biting down on its head. So that's the definition that I've been told. I don't even know where I found that out. So it's like the bull goes up with its horns and hits you up, and then the bear bites down on you. So that's the bearish and bullish, because it's obviously the up and the down. It's kind of the price action. And also, just to mention as well, just to reiterate this bullish and bearish fucking narrative you're bringing up here, Chris. Right now, this is very much in the camp of 60% probability that the top is in, because you're looking at 57% long now. So remember when we were looking at this, Chris, when we were moving up on
Yeah.
that parabolic uptrend, it was 60% short. Now we're looking at a market which is nearly 60% long. And guess what Bitcoin's been doing? It's been fucking cooling off, if not going down. So it's super interesting what you're saying. Every single point you're making right there, I completely agree with, mate. It's the market is always going to make the fools out of the most. That's one of our key sayings we have out there, isn't it?
Exactly. And I mean, even on the what you just shared on the MDX algo page was like, we're at 65 greed still. Like, people aren't talking about that.
Yep.
It's like, oh, but I mean, it's not we flipped and we've become fearful and bearish overall. It's like
I
the
was zooming on
market's
that.
still greedy. It's hungry. People are still trying to long, even though we've broken things to the downside. And not just a couple things. We've broken a daily range that I'll go into. But in the current structure overall, the fact that we've actually failed and like failed the first major parabolic move up, I mean, realistically, when you look at price action, when you look at support and resistance, everyone gets really sucked into the idea of like, oh, but it's my triangle, or no, that's actually not it. It's actually this triangle, or it's like, the butt plug thing, or whatever it is. Like some stupid analogy to, which is just it's confirmation bias. They want to see what makes them right, not what makes them rich, like you've already talked about. But I kind of wanted to like draw out just to explain like how this happens, is that when you have resistance and support in the same spot and it keeps getting tested, it doesn't make it stronger. Resistance and support, the more it's tested, the weaker it becomes, and eventually leads to a breakout move. And the reason for this is everyone has the same mentality right now, which is, oh, I'm buying the higher low. I'm going to long the lows, right? I'm going to long the lows. I keep longing it. And what happens at these levels? You're building up liquidity. You're building up longs, you're building up 100x's, 50x's, all these high leverage stuff. You're building in lower leverage positions that are allowed to layer in orders and stack, to eventually where you have a giant liquidity pocket built up underneath the current low structure. And that's what's happening right now. And the fact that the reality is the majority of the market long has not been punished. Everyone under 40K right now is still like, oh, I'm safe. I'm still good. I've caught this entire
Yep.
upside move. I long the parabolic move, and they're all just like, nope, I'm fine. This is fine and dandy.
Yeah, I completely
At the same time
agree.
as no one's taking profit to the upside. Like the people, like we've
Look
taken
at
a
this.
shit ton of profit because we know that eventually all good things come to an end.
I'm just drawing on this analogy where you've got these people here. Essentially, what they're doing is they're getting long here, thinking that they're
Yeah.
buying that lower high. The lower low. Fucking hell, legends.
Higher low.
No,
They're buying the higher
snap.
low.
The higher low.
They're buying the dip. They're buying the dips or
buying the dip.
dip.
Yeah, but the thing is, they always buy the wrong dip, because when we were buying the dip, we understood the context of what was happening. We were rallying. It was a parabolic move. We were buying it when most people were short. Now most people are long, and that's building up a very, very big time bomb. Essentially, it's building up TNT. You know the analogy I use, like a domino effect, or you could say you're lighting a match and it lets the whole thing rush off. And it really is what's happening. And if you bring up your liquidations chart, Chris, I want to look at this through the MDX liquidations chart, the indicator. But yeah, guys, what we're saying here is that if we do now lose this, it's going to be very likely be a quick move down to around that $37,000 region. I do think that's more higher probability here. That's why we were saying the other day about BNB. BNB is literally, it's almost like BNB is building a house on top of, some
lies.
sort of lies. But I would say BNB is building a house on top of, fake foundations, and I think it would be something along the lines of like the Guy Fawkes thing, you know, the House of Parliament, and underneath it there's this big bunker and it's full of like bombs. It's kind of like underneath this right now there is an explosive bomb, and between here and here, everyone in their mother is going to have their stop loss, and everyone in their mother is going to be longing it down these levels, and it's going to cause a cascade. You know, it might be out of the woods. I'm kind of debating
$40.
Yeah, the 40. It's really a fascinating chart, because it would be a really nice short. There's not really a trigger point here, because it's going to happen when no one thinks it's going to happen. It's the same as, you know, when the recession hits or there's a big global financial crisis. It's kind of the same with this. It's very difficult to know the exact time it's going to go like that, and it's difficult in my book to get short right now on it, just considering if Bitcoin wants to continue. But let's just say this: if it does wick below here and it looks like it's not popping back up quickly and it is descending, you know, it's still lower highs. You've got to be, you know, this. I would say I'm going to say it's unlikely, but if it does happen, it'll be an incredible short, guys. But that's just me making a point there about, you know, how liquidity can stack beneath these levels. And I do think that's what we're getting now. And that's why I think the probability is probably higher to go down. And like we've said, let's be very clear. The invalidation of that, guys, is that we get above this, obviously, yellow line, which is our KSR level. If we get above here, hold it back in, and we break around this region. Very simple, guys. Hold trend, continuation. And then I flip, guys. I flip, actually, just to say one more thing, actually. A good long trade would be this. Here, here, and here. So you don't long now, you wait, long from there, or you wait up to here, long from there, or you go, let's just say twice, you do it all the way. So you get long, long, and long. That level, so it'll be 30, 41,000, 42,000. You've also got this like wick up here, so it'll be around 43K. And you got the highs, guys, at about 44,400. Okay, those are the three longs you look for. And then that could be what we're looking for, the continuation. Now, show me those liquidations, sir. Show me those naughty little munchkins out there underneath us. That's the body we're looking at right now of what can get hit quite quickly on this.
And these are high leverage. This is not like, oh, we've layered in some 10Xs over the past couple of weeks. This is YOLO 100X, YOLO 50X being untouched and just getting a free ride. That doesn't last forever. It never does.
57% of the market's long right now. So, guys, you're going to get hunted. Have fun. Liquidation time. And it's going to be a big move. If we do, you know, set the match off, it's 37K quite quickly. And then I think 37 gets a bounce. And I do think it might rally back up towards the highs again. And then we see another capitulation down towards that 30K region. And that will be where we base out. Probably like, you know, around when the halving happens, we'll probably be going down. You know, what's going to happen is the news. You love the news cycles as well. You know, you'll see them.
Oh, they're the best. Like, they're the best. I love it. Yeah. It's like as soon as it comes through the cycle, it's like market sell, buy.
Yeah, because all these CBC motherfuckers and all the market muse and all these guys like, you know, Fox are going to be coming like the halving. Oh my God, Bitcoin is supposed to be going up. You should be buying now. It's just nuking. Everyone's getting freaked out. Like the capitulation hits, and then actually, you know, after that whole ruckus of news, that's when actually you see the moves happen, because they freak everybody out. Oh, Bitcoin's still falling. Oh no, it's the halving. You should be buying, and it's just nuking. Everyone's just panicking. Yeah, it's going to be confusing.
It's like why Kramer is so good at predicting the opposite of like what happens. I mean, if you guys ever heard of Kramer, just type in on Google like Kramer. Inverse Kramer, like that's a real thing. Like you just do the opposite of what some of these people say, and you'll make money without even having to think.
Yeah, it probably is a good hit rate. Like generally speaking, is a good hit rate. I wouldn't say blindly.
I'm looking. It's like 2 out of 3 or better.
yeah, it generally is. Like it is actually hilarious, and even just the time they say shit is, if you just time it to like the minute they do a tweet or an announcement, you know, there is probably a good hit rate there. Obviously, you're not going to do it without a stop loss, and it's actually not really quantifiable. But
there's a lot of
because they have such because they have such a big influence, and they say something, it just creates a self-fulfilling prophecy that it won't happen, because everybody will either put their orders on that position or everybody will sell when he says, and that's going to cause liquidity and cause an incentive. So, yeah, the Kramer. It literally, when Kramer tweets, I creamer. I'm loving it.
You know, it's funny. It's like there's a lot of people. I think it's less so now, but a lot of people have been using like Twitter bots or X bots to see when like special words, like if, for example, when Elon tweets Doge, or like in the last run when he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna you can buy a Tesla with Doge," like it went straight up.
Yeah, it did. Doge is actually probably going to come down a little bit here. A lot of these alts are going to do their higher low. They're all going to get they've all made now their higher highs. We said this the other stream. And what they're all going to do now is come down and very likely make their higher lows. And that's going to be the next big expansion. Actually, I do think this is probably the first wave. If you guys are wave counters, and I do see a use case for it in the context of higher time frame analysis. So I'd say all of these moves on altcoins are just the first move. You're going to get your second. And we all know what the third looks like. The third is the juicy one, which most traders actually, professional traders, would like to get interested in. The first moves are usually not actually very good risk to reward moves because there's not much in defined structure. So the first move is actually not, it might be more profitable, but it's more risky. So the risk to reward is not as good. A lot of people would wait for that higher low to really define, make that confident certainty in it and trade that next one. And like most of these altcoins, legends, like if you go to ADA as well, this is definitely, I wouldn't say definitely because you can't say that in this game, but let's just say 99% sure that it's going to make a higher low at some point, wherever that is you're looking to buy. Solana is going to very likely make a higher low. These are all everyone's so upset that they missed these moves. I'm not going to reiterate this point one more time. Okay, I said it in the last stream, but everyone's so upset about missing the first leg move out of these bear markets. But actually, if you're giving yourself a hard time about missing the first move, you're just going to make it even more difficult for you to then actually take advantage of the real good risk to reward trades, because most professional traders aren't looking to catch the first one. That's what the investors are doing. That's how the investors make their money. They buy stuff which they've done a lot of due diligence on, and they understand that they might have an edge by knowing something that you don't about the fundamentals. So this is where the investors make their money on the first move. The investors then don't dive in and out. They invest and they stay long term. They go with the swings, but the traders are the ones, us, who don't. I don't care about the first moves. I care about the second, which is the higher low after the first one, because it's too risky. Like there's nothing really saying to you that's going to happen from here. Like there's nothing. Like maybe there's the first level getting broken, but you could have got in there. But if you miss this, you got nothing to worry about. Don't kick yourself in the fucking. Don't be upset as a trader that you missed the first move. No. Analyze the market and be like, yo, now my opportunity is, where does this come back down to? Because now I have less risk, less risk, more certainty. Third wave of the Elliott wave, or you could just do wave counting, because there's not just Elliott wave theory. There's lots of different wave theories. So it's usually the third wave, because you have the highest certainty, highest probability that that's going to be. You have confidence. So people who are buying that are going to be more confident because there is a defined higher low. So that's really the move you're looking for. So don't get upset and cry about it. And also that puts you in a bad position, because then you feel like you've missed it, and then you start trading erratically or emotionally, and then it makes it even more difficult.
Fear of missing out.
Exactly.
Like people will literally. If FOMO has killed more traders than anything else. It's the fact that, why do you think everybody in the last run was like, people you didn't even know barely message you like, hey bro, I haven't talked to you in like 6 years. Like, what do you tell me about this Bitcoin thing? I know you're in it. You know, that type of shit.
Yeah, man. It's an interesting question. I would say, like, what's hurt traders more? Is it fear or FOMO? And it's an interesting question. You know, fear is a defense mechanism. So FOMO is probably something that is probably more dangerous in terms of losing money, because if you do try and chase and it goes against you, it's almost both though, because FOMO turns into fear. It's almost like a double.
Well, FOMO is fear.
They're almost, they're all, yeah. But
it's all fear. It's all driven by fear. Yeah.
I understand. I'm just thinking like fearful selling in terms of like a sell-off, or a FOMO in terms of missing the upside move. So yeah, they're both fear-based, but they're both slightly different types of fear, because I think fear of missing out is more about greed, actually. It's more about you are fearful of missing out, but it's more about the greed you want to get in. You're like, oh my God, I'm missing it. I need to get in. It's like almost about greed, but fear in itself, in terms, it's an interesting dynamic. We could go down the terminology down this road.
The market psychology rabbit hole forever. Yeah.
Yeah. You can go on and on about this, but I'd say it is an interesting question. I've kind of forgotten a lot of what I thought about this. It's when you've been doing this shit for years, like that quote people say, it's like, I've forgotten more than you know. It really is actually true. I know why people say that, because there are new traders who come into the space who are beginners, and they're talking about all these concepts, and I'm like, fucking hell, I forgot about that shit like 4 or 5 years ago. It's interesting when you see, like, we have a group now, obviously, you know that, you're in it, Chris. And when you see these traders who you just know exactly what part of their trading journey they're in, where everything's kind of new, but they kind of know what they're talking about, and they're talking about all these concepts. You're like, oh fuck yeah, like it kind of refreshes you again. because as you've been doing this for like how long are we doing this for? Like nearly 12 years.
10 years,
You know, the
yeah.
beginning stages, you kind of just, like you said, you know, you do really, you know, you forget more than what most people actually know as a
There's
whole.
just so much. It's so much. I mean,
It's
like,
so much.
it's a
It
lot. A
really is.
lot of it's misinformation, disinformation. But yeah, I mean, we look at it like it's funny to see that whole thing of like where you were manipulated by the market psychology when you started trading. We all were, and then all of a sudden, like you conquered that market psychology, and now you use market psychology to see how the majority of the market is thinking. And
Yeah,
you do the
yeah. Like
opposite.
it's the long and
Like
short
it's like
ratio.
it's like full circle shit. You know.
It really is true. And also, like a lot of people say, it's what I always laugh about as well. And obviously, we don't want to get too fundamentally psychology because every trader can talk about psychology till they die. But there is a, you know, I do find with a lot of traders when they come into the space, if they do lose money, there's always an excuse for it, right? And if they lose money in something, it's due to manipulation, right? Or they lost money because there's a lack of manipulation. When you have these kind of people who make up these excuses for losing money, whether they were I fell asleep or it was market manipulation, the only thing you can say to them is, well, look, mate, if there's market manipulation going on, why can't you use that manipulation to your advantage by trading with the manipulation? So it's all a load of bullshit, really, because we understand the market manipulators are there and the market movers are there. But if you know they're there, then build a strategy around that and then go with what they're doing to the majority. And guess what?
Yeah,
That's what we do
you
in
you
our
don't
analysis. We go against the
you're not a
majority.
billionaire. You're not a billionaire watching this and like saying, "Oh, I'm going to do this or that." It's like, no, if you want to, I mean, if you want to really like conquer your own, ego when it comes to trading, go in the bathroom, turn the lights on, and stare at the asshole who lost you money. Like that's in the
Mm,
mirror. Like that's the person who did it to you is yourself. And when you look at like the market psychology of it and the overall factors for it, it's mostly because of forgetting the fundamentals. It's about risk reward. It's about trade planning. It's about understanding true technical analysis based off price action and confluence. And people, a lot of times, it's a hard thing to take the hardest thing is to take your ego out of trading because everyone wants to, like you said, people want to be right rather than rich, and that's the
right. They'd
problem.
rather be right than rich. They'd rather sacrifice their ego than they would rather not sacrifice their ego in the pursuit of looking like they're right and then not make any money. So like
Yeah,
they would sacrifice making the money just to say I'm wrong. Like you can just say you're
yeah,
wrong and flip. Like it's only up and down. It really that this is one of the things which is the most crucial thing in trading is like you see it with even seasoned chartered professional traders who say they are or they say they're trading masters and they fall for this such simple psychological barrier.
perhaps.
Even everyone wants to look right there, right? I get it, but you have to be able to flip, and you have to be able to be humble enough to say, "Look, fuck it, I want to be rich in this game. That's why I got into it, not to look right in front of a few people on the internet or whatever it is for most people, even to yourself. Just people just don't want to lie to themselves. So it is ridiculous. Look at Solana though. So this is beginning to, this is an absolutely massive 4-hour move on Solana. It really, really is aggressive to the upside. And it's a very simple chart, guys. You don't have to do much in terms of crazy shit. There is actually hidden bullish divergence right now in the 4-hour. So I'd say this is probably going to come up a little bit higher. These hidden bullish divergences, if you just look at this chart and zoom out on it, every single fucking time, hidden bullish divergence continuation, hidden bullish divergence continuation, hidden bullish divergence
One
continuation.
more.
It's just one fucking more, man. It's just one more in the bog voice. One more.
One more.
And
One
it's
more.
beautiful. It's beautiful. I think what you're gonna do is you're gonna get a break of trend on Solana soon. And I'm gonna be I actually again I did really well on Solana, guys. Like I bought Solana after the FDX collapse. A lot of people saying to me, how did you, what were you thinking? How did you get into that trade? And I'm just like, guys, like it was a risky fucking bet. I just did it because of some
That was
analysis.
a risky bet. But it's the
It was a
ecosystem.
risky
You're
bet.
betting. You're banking on the fundamentals of the project. Like Solana, like
Well,
fundamentally, is strong as
that's interesting you
fuck.
said that, but it wasn't because of the fundamentals of the project I bet on it. I actually don't like the fundamentals of the project. I think it's a load of bullshit. The reason I bet on it is because of a piece of analysis that, I know from my experience from many years of trading and looking at charts and looking at the studies which many people have done. I'm not saying that I've done all of the research myself, but you can read articles and you can read from professional traders. There's a few books as well which talk about this. And there's a saying which says if the market drops more than 50% in a week, what is the probability that you'll be in profit within 6 months? And the numbers are really fucking good. They're like really good, guys, in your favor. 80, 90% chance in any market, in any cycle, even if you're in a bear market. So if the market drops more than 50% in less than a week, which we got on Solana around 47%, something like that. Actually, this is even more, 75%. But this is literally in 1 week, guys. Like, it's insane. The probability of you having to be in profit within 6 months is very high. And that's the reason I took this trade when the FTX Solana collapse happened. That's why I bought Solana at that point. Incredibly good trade. A lot of guys, how did you get into that? That was the one thesis I got into it. But a lot of people were saying to me, oh, but I'm upset I missed the move. Don't be upset you missed the move. This is just the first leg. It's going to come back down. It's going to make a higher low. Wherever that higher low comes in, that's where you want to get into a trade. So it's as simple as that on Solana. And the fundamentals are shit, but I'm still going to buy it. I'm not going to try and be like, oh, yeah, I don't like it, so I won't buy it. I like even XRP. I've traded XRP. I fucking hate the thing, but I'll buy it or sell it. Or, you know, this game is not about dying on the hill with your predictions. It's about fucking making some cash, man, so you can live in Dubai in the Burj Khalifa and chill the fuck out.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, man, like 100%. And for me, the whole fundamental side of Solana is the fact that they have that market cap and reach and user base and people that have held it. I look at it in the fundamentals of how many people hold stuff in their wallets and whatnot. And
what's your? Are you actually in? Did you invest in it then? Are you just investing in Solana, or are you going to trade it?
Oh no, I did trade it. Like I don't actually hold any Solana at all. I actually held some Cardano, or I bought some Cardano and then sold it just because I'd rather trade it than hold it, just because I don't believe in the project long term. Not that I'm like against spot holding, but most of my spot trades that I do are more based off of like, you know, emerging products, and I'm much happier using my capital available to actually take trades and then accumulate Bitcoin and do other things rather than, you know, hope and pray that a top 20 coin will do a decent percentage. I could do more than that with less, you know, margin effectively. And that's the way I look at it, is that it's not an efficient use of my capital. That's the way I look at it versus, you know, Bitcoin, which I understand is, you know, there's a supply crisis. And to me, the longer I've been in the space, the more I'm like, oh shit, this is probably like the only actual solution we have to like the bullshit Ponzi fiat system.
That's the thing about Bitcoin. It's like, it's difficult not to have like, we could talk about long-term analysis. Obviously, we don't even do it anymore because everyone knows. But like, it is one of those things where, you know, we have to stay true to what we preach and what we know is good at as being a trader. But like, there is a part of me which just thinks, I'm just gonna fucking ride a lot of my Bitcoin like to the end. I don't even give a fuck if it fails fundamentally. Like, I believe in it so much as a alternative money for the planet that there is a part of it where I do just say to myself, look, I'm just going to allow myself to have my emotional bias with that thing. And that's the great thing about, you know, understanding the nuances in trading. There are times where you can just be like, fuck it, I like this thing, I'm going full blown in it. It's just not about doing that about things in general in too much of a basket of assets. So don't go around trying to die on the hill with every single thing. You can have your odd little one here and there, but make sure that it's a percentage of your portfolio you're prepared to lose. And I have a percentage of my Bitcoin that I will just I'll just hold for dear life until I die, until the project goes to 1 million or 0. I'll hold it to just for the pure ability for me to say I am going to be emotional attached to it. And that is one thing about Bitcoin, man, which people forget. It has a growth story and it has a narrative like that, which it's kind of intoxicating, bro. It's just like, you know, it's not.
It's kind of like the underdog. It's kind of like the underdog to like the world. You know, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah,
I mean,
the underdog of the world. It's almost.
I mean, I look at it in the sense of like, I mean, I can spend it like cash now because I've gone through and I've gotten myself all schooled up on Lightning, and so I understand that whole side of things. So I don't need to change money into fiat to use on a card, or I don't need to move stuff around and all this shit. I can literally just go to a store and use Lightning and pay. And at the end of the day, my mentality is starting to shift now of like, oh, I have X amount of, you know, dollars or whatever in the bank, versus like, oh, it's like, well, that's this costs me that many sats. So, you know, that's the mentality.
Like,
it's weird. It's so weird.
We are fucking. It is weird, but it's like we are fucking moon boys, but you know, we are like not ridiculous, stupid moon boys. Like, you have to be in that camp. And also with the whole sats thing, you know, everyone's like, oh my God, it's weird, or it's strange, or Bitcoin's never going to be able to be denominated.
Like the metric system, but crypto. Like, I don't understand why people think that's weird.
It's not weird. Like, go to India, go to fucking India, or go to Thailand, or go to what's that country which is in like millions now, and it's not even a crazy country. Like I think there's Japan.
Venezuela?
There's another one where you go to and it's like literally like 1 million of something to get like a piece of bread. It's like it's not weird. It's so normal. Like it's 1,000 sats could so easily just determine something very simply. It's actually easy to do that because then it's nationwide or international. Let's say internationally respected form of pricing because you know that Satoshi doesn't change from country to country. It's just on the fucking internet on a blockchain. So like it's gonna get crazy, bro. Like we could talk about the long term forever, and we do that in the group.
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
it is ride or die for a percentage of my portfolio. Obviously, we have to stay true to our trading principles that we've learned over the decades and be like, look, we have to say that there is a percentage of my portfolio where I'm going to say, look, I'm wrong about Bitcoin if something changes, like fundamentally about what it is. And I'll say, I will cut that. And I will say, I will cut out and take the loss from that trade. But I'm not going to lie to you guys, like a lot of like 25% or more of my Bitcoin is not going to move ever until it goes to 1 million or zero. Do you know what I'm saying? So like that is the bug. It's like gold bugs, you know, it's just Bitcoin bugs. It's the same fucking concept. We're just and looking at everything right now, bro, since what we've been through, like not to get all like, you know, back in my day, but mate, I've been in this space since 215, 216. Like I think you've been 216 as well. It's just like the fucking how far this has come. And people saying it's dead now, it's just laughable. It's not dead. It's about to do something which shocks the world. I think Bitcoin's going to be a moment in history where everyone goes, fuck. That's when the world actually became essentially had true sovereign money that they could use instantaneously without big government intervention. It's groundbreaking, bro. It's groundbreaking.
Which, by the way, I just wanted to point out, somebody mentioned Vietnam as like a good conversion rate, and it's like something like $1 equals 23,000. By the way, I just wanted to mention it. I totally forgot this because I haven't been there in a long time, but the Vietnamese currency is called the Vietnamese dong. Like, lovely. Just gotta say, not hating on it. I'm just saying that's.
I need to go. I'm converting all of my bitcoins where I have like 1 trillion.
I want 1 million dong.
Yeah, I want 5 billion dong in my bank, bro. Actually, we were doing that in Thailand. When I was in Thailand, it was called the Thai baht, and like I can't remember. We had some joke. It was like because it was like the bat machine or something, like something to do with Batman. Like just imagine like some superhero just like printing bat out of their backyard. Like some of these currencies are so obscenely ridiculous.
Iran's the worst, though. I think still. I think there's like 40,000 or something.
The funny thing is as well, like when I look at these countries who have really bad fiat currencies and they're really unstable, and you go to all these different places, it's like 1 million of this to buy that, and then you go to another person, it's a completely different interest rate or exchange rate. I think to myself, I'm like, really, there is no difference between that and the US dollar. We're mocking the Thai baht, but 99% of the DNA, which the dollar is the same as Thai baht. So it really is going to be a shock for most people. Obviously, a lot of people are coming around to this in these days. Like we've been in this space for a while, but you know, in 2017 or 16, when I would tell my parents about this, they would laugh at me like, "What do you mean the Great British Pound isn't going to be, you know, is going to be used less than crypto?" It's like literally, like look at the downtrend the Great British Pound is in since the 1800s, and then look at the uptrend Bitcoin is in, and then just is that difficult to understand? No, like it's in it. Like I'll show you. Let me show you this fucking chart, and like this will obviously we know this, and it's just funny. But you see this video here. This is everything just priced in Bitcoin. Like if you literally you had 12 years, if you didn't buy Bitcoin in 12 years, if you had anything else, you got wrecked. Like you got murked if you just didn't buy Bitcoin. In 12 years, you got wrecked in any other asset class. Like look at these charts. Anything priced in Bitcoin is done. Like it's not difficult to say to yourself, Great British Pound go down, Bitcoin go up, and then make a fucking very conscious decision to say it's probably a good bet to be in crypto. It's just fucking ludicrous at this point. Why isn't everyone buying?
Dude, people don't understand economics because it's purposefully made difficult. Like finance and all that accounting is purposefully made difficult in my mind. Like from understanding that side of things and going to school for that type of shit. I think it's done purposefully. I mean, the reality is when you try to even explain this to someone who's like a typical like boomer economist type, like the fact that you have something that's deflationary, they instantly think, oh, but you mean like deflation, like the recession, like the Great Depression was? I'm like, no, more like deflationary is in like the Swiss did it
You're
in
incentivized to save
2015.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
incentivization
like
to
it's
save.
fine. It's literally goddamn fine. It's like inflation is not the goal, and it shouldn't be. And like modern
You know what I think it's
economists
down to,
have
bro?
lied to us about it.
You know what I think it's down to? It's like that
What?
whole school of thought in the boomers was because they own assets in general. That demographic in the boomers, they came out of the Second World War, and they either built or inherited or took on assets from other people who fought wars to defend. So the boomers are kind of like this weird 60s hippie generation which took all this assets, and unfortunately just subconsciously they have been incentivized to go into debt instead of sell their asset. And a way to do that is to print government debt and build things with debt instead of selling the assets off to other countries. And all of the people who are in that boomer situation are incentivized to go into more debt and create more, do more fiscal and monetary, let's just do more monetary printing and monetary policy for the economy, because they know that if they do that, it's just going to inflate the price of their assets they own. So I think that might be something to do with it. Maybe they're not even that smart. Maybe they just did this by mistake. But if you're a boomer right now, of course you want the government to keep printing into debt, because it just makes your assets price higher. You create a bubble in all your asset prices, and you just essentially get more rich on paper. Like, why wouldn't you fucking do that? Like, we all want that in Bitcoin as well. When they start printing, I'm like, okay, let's go. Like, let's fucking boot it, bro.
I mean, but we always talk about that. It's like the actual economic peak was in like the 2000s, like the dot-com bubble. Everything since then, because the inflation's gone so insane. It's So the value of the dollar has decreased so much since the 2000s, is that the economy now, if you actually if you take inflation into account, like 2000 was the actual height of the market. Everything since then is just so massively hyperinflated, and people don't understand that. And it's like, But anyways, we've been on a goddamn tangent on this stuff.
I know, we're going. I'm gonna make one more point, and I'll talk about SPX and some charts. But I'm saying, like, this chart here, this isn't the increase of value. The SPX and the 500 biggest companies in the US, they're not getting any more valuable. They're just going up in price. And obviously, guys, just to make this real point, which I've said a billion times, there is a complete distinguishing. There's a differentiation. I don't even know what I'm saying.
Differentiation.
They're differentiating. Okay, so the fucking hell, 4 hours, bro. 4 hours. Let's go. So price and value are two different things. They're completely different, right? Because if you think about it in a very simple sense, if you have here in the economy, and say this is the stock market, and the economy, there is $100 in the economy, and the price of everything is ranging in between that $100. It's $100 in the economy, and things are going like this. If there's still $100 in the economy, and then this chart goes up like that, you can see a massive increase in value. Because what's happened is that more dollars, the same amount of dollars, are bidding now on the same amount of stock, and the price is rising. Okay, I'm not even explaining this very well. I'm making it too complicated. Why make it so complicated? Basically, there's $100 in the economy here. The prices are rising. That means that there's an increase in value. But if you have it, so it's $100, $110, $120, $130, all the way up to $200 here, right? If the increase of dollars is going up with the price, all the price is doing is just keeping up with the amount of dollars in circulating supply, which means there's no increase in value. It just means the price is rising to keep up with inflation. Obviously, I've just explained this ridiculously with this like $100 thing. But like I'm saying, if you can buy a loaf of bread in an economy for $1, and there's $1 million in the economy, if the next day there's suddenly $2 million in the economy, and that loaf of bread still costs $1, it actually means that loaf of bread is halved in value, because you can actually, there's twice as many dollars in circulating supply. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is very simply that this is not an increase in value, it's just an increase in price, because there's more dollars, there's more circulating supply dollars in the world. They're printing more dollars, so the price is rising to accommodate for that, because there's no change. It's just more dollars essentially bidding on the same amount of stock and shares. Now let's talk about price action before I absolutely do my head in. I'm trying my best to keep it concise. I hope it is. Tell me in the chat right now if I'm making sense, because 4 hours, massive fucking push last night.
Inflation and printing of money has fundamentally made all fiat currency effectively bullshit.
Exactly. Perfect. There you go. The way you explained that was a million times better, my friend. But yeah, so let's talk about price action. So SPX, guys, I literally from the start of, I don't know, it was maybe a year ago now, we're looking at back in last October, I was calling at the same time I was calling for Bitcoin to go to $40,000 by December. I was saying that it's quite likely that we're going to get a rally up and maybe even retest the all-time highs by the end of the year. Like that thesis, that analysis, and that forecast has happened, guys, pretty fucking beautifully. There's a few different things you can look at and say to yourself that, look, is this going to cool off? This is one of the best trades I had for a long position when I bought this support region. Sorry. When I bought here, guys, that's one of the best trades I've ever had on SPX for the last at least 2 years. It was 6.6% in, God, it was such a fast move. It only happened in about, less than a week. So what we're looking at here, guys, is we're going to actually retest the all-time highs. Now, it's probably quite likely that we do get some sort of rejection first off an all-time high retest. Obviously, this is the most logical resistance on this chart in terms of that's where all of the sellers, which could have been at that price, came in and sold the price back down. So I would say that it's quite likely that we're going to get some sort of rejection. And what we're going to look out for on SPX is if we come in and then we see it again, and if we do create, guys, and descending, you hear that? Great, that was loud. Someone's buying 2 million on the buy right there on Bitcoin. Someone's bought 2 million right there. Legend. So what I'm trying to say, what we're looking for is a formation. If we're going to get an ascending formation, ascending triangle on this, guys, it's very likely SPX is going to do some sort of incredible measured move. It will probably do something around the 6,000s. But let me I won't do a Fibonacci extension on this just yet. I'm actually going to save that for the VIP group. I was thinking about doing that earlier. But I'll do a Fibonacci extension on this later, and we'll see what it comes up to. But it's not really going to give you much context in a blue sky breakout. But depending on if we get an ascending formation, a break, it's going to be blue sky breakout, continue. Bitcoin's likely going to bottom out as well with that. Maybe we're going to get one more move to 37K. Let's just say it comes up here and it gets some sort of rejection off this all-time high. You could probably say that Bitcoin and other asset classes in risk are going to come down with it. And let's just say that happens. Bitcoin goes to 37 or 30K, depending. And then this does begin to coil up and break its all-time high. Guys, this is a blue sky breakout. Bitcoin's likely going to be catching up with that really quickly. And then we're going to go into this huge asset. Like I said, the price is going to be rising, but the price is rising because of a bubble. Everyone's just buying it because it's going up in price. It's going to get completely attached from reality. And we're probably going to go into some huge blow off top in the SPX. As well as Bitcoin in the next bull market. And it's going to take a few months, guys. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's going to take probably about a few months. And then you have Dixie as well. We're doing this right at the end after waffling for a while. But, guys, Dixie is weaker than expected. I was expecting Dixie to have a move off support in here. That's exactly what we've got. We've come out of this. We found support. But, that's a pretty dire wick down there in that candle. If we get one more push up, guys, it's probably going to be a push down for Bitcoin. I've actually left this drawn on since the beginning of the year, I think. The move up is weaker than expected. I thought it would come up a little bit higher. I thought I'd get a 618 on this. Let's see what it actually got. It literally didn't even get to its 618 at all, or at 786. That would have been more probable in my book, like we've stated in this video from the beginning. So Dixie, in my eyes, if we lose this level here, it's going to be all the way down to that. And that's going to be the beginning, likely, of the next bull market in the SPX, gold, and Bitcoin. If Dixie's moving down towards this trend line, that's likely going to be the beginning of the bull market. We're kind of almost there. I think there's one last hurrah for Dixie up to here, and then that would be when we get it. And I think when Dixie loses this level here, guys, this low level here, we're looking at 100 points. When it loses that, that's very likely going to be the beginning of the bull market. The bull market. Yeah, exactly. Bull run. So you can see here, guys, when this is going to between 2020 all the way down. This was the bull market in Bitcoin from 2020 to 2023, or 2022, actually. Yeah, 22. And this was back in the day, guys, when we had the old 2016, 17, and then the dump of 18. You can see, guys, correlates pretty nicely. You got literally 18, 17 coming down. So every single time Dixie's been careering to the downside, Bitcoin's been careering to the upside because people have been buying shit with dollars. Okay, so that's another thesis on Dixie. My hunch is that we get one more last hurrah from Dixie, which brings down a few other asset classes. And I do think we're getting close, guys, that the next big base off is going to be 30K and up. I think, 30K for Bitcoin, 32K, and SPX, I think it's going to come down a little bit lower. I don't think it's going to be a straight off to the ships, breaking this all-time high in one go. I think it's very likely you get a rejection off it once.
We need everyone to do the same thing, which is it's going to go straight up there, hopefully, and everyone's going to start screaming double top, double top, double top, and then what's the NQ doing?
I just want to show you what gold did. So gold, literally, I drew this on, months ago. This is what I was thinking. Under all-time high and a break back down. That's exactly what's happened here. Up into it and a break back down into it. Again, not looking too bad. Probably comes a little bit lower, continues another higher low, something like this. Probably does something like that, and then back in ascending formation. We
I
continue
love
on
things
gold.
that deviate. I realized, like, I love things that like deviate under a level and then close back above. Grabbing liquidity. That's like my favorite. Will's too, man. Like that's just like the easy money because everyone says, "Oh, it broke the level," and then it just wicks down hard, and the buyback is strong.
And so I
And
think
then
that would be like that.
I love it.
That would be a really nice trade. I think it would go
But see that's a good point to bring up because that's a liquidity grab because it wicks down, the buyback gets you back above previous support for a potential continuation, and now it removes the incentive to go lower to grab liquidity.
Yeah, I wanna let you elaborate on some stuff you want to talk about, brother. Do you want to add anything to that thesis? We've done an hour and 5 minutes. What else do you want to add to the end, and then we'll wrap this up?
Well, no, there's a couple like little. Yeah, I mean, with the overall thesis, I think it plays out. Looking at the structure, the market structure, I think it's all the same. I have no problem with a wick down into 38K if we get a strong buyback, to get us back into support for continuation. Yeah, and even now, I'm very happy to potentially buy a higher low if we break something and regain 42K, even like doing some scalp trades. I mean, right now it's low time frame. It's price is ranging. We all understand that it is low time frame. It's scalping in some fun times. Don't smash big buttons. Don't massively allocate. There's no evidence of anything high time frame really happening. For me, like we've talked about, like that, I call it like the zone to gain because we've already gotten the rejection off of 43.4, 43.5. That gain of level is the continuation, and everyone can pretend like, oh well, if we grab lower and then gain back above, there's a probability of going higher. It's like, well, that's fine, but we've actually broken down and lost a daily level. We've lost stuff at 43K that was bad, and we barely retested it. So we have some downside priority until we actually start losing the lows. There's still the ability to regain to go higher. If we poop out down underneath this triangle, whatever you want to call it, then yeah, we have to grab that long liquidity and would probably start a little bit more of a retracement. But at the end of the day, I'm playing it hour to hour, 4 hour to 4 hour block at this point, just because we're ranging. We are not trending currently. We're not trending on the daily time frame. All of our stuff is showing from the daily down to about the 4 hour is not trending at all. So it is completely ranging, and you play the scalp until you have more confirmation.
Lovely, brother. Great analysis. Yeah, guys, like I said, I'm going to get some sleep. I've had it was a real long night last night. We just basically have finished the academy section on mdxalgo.com. So you can actually see here that you can now go and apply for one-on-one mentoring with all of our coaches. You can also view their profile. So for instance, this is Chris's profile. He has a whole ton of videos. I think you've already done, man. You've already got like,
how do I have 40 videos? I got 2 more uploading from today.
Yeah, 40 videos. We got Kieran as well, who's up to 83 videos. He's a professional chartered trader from the UK. We've got Will as well. Look at this sexy bastard. Look at him in his little fucking suit, in his old school classic suit. And yeah, guys, this is all ready to go. So you can come and view everyone's profiles. You actually get over 100 hours worth of content just within the academy. Obviously, you go to mdxalgo.com. But this is finished now. So like I said, I am tired today. I've been trying to explain myself as cohersely as possible. I think I've done a pretty good job. I can usually define and articulate my points across pretty well with no sleep. But hopefully, guys, you got some value from these videos. And yeah, come and check the Academy out, guys. If you're already a premium member, this is open to you right now. If you're not, go and get a subscription at mdxalgo.com to get that. And you obviously get everything else on this sidebar. You can see you get our flagship indicators, the Traders Network, the trading bots, and everything else encompassed in the platform. But yeah, we're really proud of it. Chris and Trendmaster team has come over as well, and they've added their spice to it. So really happy with the product, really happy with everyone who's a part of it. And now, going forward, is probably next year is going to be looking at having our own chart system, building our own chart system, and potentially having our own API system.
We're going to do indicators. Some really crazy AI shit.
When that all comes, it's going to get crazy. So next year is going to be great. Get rid of TradingView. We'll obviously use TradingView. But yeah, like I say, guys, I'm going to go get some sleep. It's been a really good video, and hopefully you took some value from that in terms of just we went through some more.
Can I get stuff? 30 seconds or less. What's your best alt and why? I just want to hear you what your thought is.
Well, it depends on like what it is, because like I have altcoins I've invested in, and I have altcoins that I trade. And like some of my best trades are some of the altcoins that I hate the most for the fundamentals. Like ADA, ADA and Solana are probably going to be some of my best trades. If ADA, I don't know where we are with ADA right now. I'll quickly do a little bit of an altcoin stuff, but ADA essentially has done a better gain than I've done. I bought the wick here. It was actually at 4 a.m. I bought this wick and I put a substantial amount into ADA. And at one point I was up nearly 200%. So I haven't done a trade in Bitcoin without leverage, let's say, at that sort of velocity, that quickly. So ADA is one of my best trades. I hate it in terms of its fundamentals. Solana as well, another one I hate for its fundamentals, but it's been one of my best trades. So because I bought both of ADA, I bought ADA and Solana on the FTX collapse at the bottom. So two incredible trades will probably be my best trades at the bull market. But if you wanted to talk about fundamentals and things that I generally like, I think most guys know them. I love Ultra, I love Swarm Markets. I bought Mars 4 the other day because it's a nice game. I think it's good. I've got some other small caps like Plutus. I bought Dogecoin. I bought some ordinals the other day as well. So like there are some other stuff which I quite like the fundamentals of. CRO as well, I really like. I actually like CRO. I own a big bag of it. I just like it. I think it's going to do well, and I'm happy to hold it in terms. Let's have a look at the structure we got right now. Very nice PA as well, breaking this prior high. So it's likely some sort of higher low. But my bread and butter isn't really like I used to be more like that, bro, Chris. I used to be more like the guy who went in and did the fundamental analysis and learned about all the projects and found out the team,
white papers and
all that shit. I used to do that. I got into some really great shit. Did really well on Matic because of that. But I don't know, as the years go on, I just kind of just stick more and more to charts. And even 3 years ago, I would just never have bought ADA just because I didn't like it. Just like, fuck it, I don't care in crypto. And now I just am, because I just know it's going to go up. It's just a good thing. So it's an interesting one. I never had that bias with trading stocks and shares, and definitely Forex. I don't give a fuck what FX market is or what pair it is. I just trade it. So that's what's happening with crypto. I'm getting less and less tribal as the years go by. And I've been in this market now for like about 10 years. So it's getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think that's also cool that like to identify trends. Like I think real world asset stuff like Swarm Markets, SMT, I think they're going to do fantastic. I think ordinals, just because that's kind of like the hot topic right now, building off BRC20. I think those things are going to do well, regardless of the fundamentals of the ordinal stuff. But like, I think, I don't know, it's something that sticks in my head is when like these, Larry Finks of the world, the asset managers, the billionaire, trillionaire type class of people, when they start talking about real world assets as blockchain technology is going to revolutionize the markets in the world. I'm like, the people who are already in there, who are in first with the licensing and stuff and with framework, they're going to be the ones holding the bags, and everyone else they're going to be the gatekeepers, and everyone else is going to be begging and climbing and crawling to get into it.
Well, it's like, me and Will were laughing about this the other day. It's like we have all these little fucking exchanges with their like, crypto business plans and their business models to make money in crypto. And then you have like the BlackRock, the Fidelities, and the Vanguards and the State Streets. You have their business model, which is literally trying to onboard it's trying to onboard like $10 trillion worth of money into an asset class like Bitcoin in a brokerage account. And we were working out Binance makes $20 million a day. Okay, that's what their revenue is on average, $20 million a day. It would take them 1,400 years for them to get to $10 trillion. So like, it's unimaginable amounts of money that BlackRock have under management. Not saying they own all that, because it's just individuals and family offices and potential.
And that's declared assets under management. That's not like undeclared.
Declared. And also you got to remember that they own 5% of it anyway, because guess what? They're going to take a fee for all their products and services they offer. So, and they're going to be using affiliate marketing. They're going to have affiliates within their business where they're going to be doing products and showing them what to use. So like, they probably actually do own around 5 to 7% of all of that as well, from the profit they make from having it all under management. So They are literally onboarding, and this is another thing about the whole long-term cycle. This is going to be a crazy cycle when this happens, because that kind of money hasn't been. It's like a, you know, that emoji, not emoji. You know that meme where it's like a small tunnel and there's a fucking train trying to get through the tunnel, and it's like everyone does it as though like some big dude and a chick. It's like that is happening to crypto. Like you've got a train coming along, and there's a tiny little tunnel, and it's not going to stop. It's just going to force its way into the market, and it's that kind of money is going to pop this fucking goddamn pop its cherry. You know what's going on, legends. Now pop the price action.
Pop the price action.
I'm glad this is the end. But anyway, guys, we've been going for a while. I'm gonna go get some sleep. Chris, it's great for coming on. I don't know where Will is today. He's in Georgia, a weird time zone, but we will speak soon. And guys, like the video, like everything. Go check out mdxalgo.com. We just did the academy. Get Bingx and Bybit as well. The two exchanges are below. You have to use my links to get the trading bot.
New indicators up too, man.
Oh yeah, the new indicators as well. Of course, we just did a big update yesterday. And next year we're gonna have a brand new scalp trading indicator. So it's really kicking off the business. And then, use all the links below, guys. Get Bybit, get Bingx. And also, we are going to be doing a new academy. So I'm going to go in there now. But guys, speak soon. You are all legends. Have a good one.
Later.